Right, as you know, Black Ops 6 is releasing this year. So I'm gonna check out this video from Stone Mountain. He has played the Black Ops 6. I think it's mainly multiplayer, if I'm not mistaken. So he's gonna talk about like 20 things that we should know. Probably there's a lot of things that we aren't going to know, but hopefully in terms of like the more important things like the gunplay movement and stuff like that, he can talk about it, like mainly multiplayer stuff. Probably campaign is not going to talk about that, but hopefully he can talk about like the multiplayer stuff and how the game will actually feel and like run and shit. So yeah, let's take a look at it.
I got to play the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6. Activision flew me down to spend the day at Treyarch Studio that I literally just got back from. And while we are limited in what we can discuss, I filtered down the information that is going to be releasing as you're watching this to these top 20 points with some thoughts. Perfect whether you haven't seen anything yet or you're finding this after the trailer that should be released shortly after this video or even later right before the game comes out. But that's why I don't have any footage to show you here. It's not out yet. So first off, omnidirectional movement will be the big talking point this year for Call of Duty. It's a big word, and at first I thought this was just a buzzword, but dude, this is cool. This is the complete unlocking of the movement direction while sprinting or evading. In every shooter that we've played, you could really only sprint forwards, but this isn't just sprinting. Whether you are sliding or even diving, you can do this in any direction.
Okay. So you don't have to like slide forward and then turn to like slide forward and then turn to have it like slide to the side, right? Okay. That's actually kind of nice, but it may be kind of broken, especially if you like jump and then like slide or dive sideways and shoot. Like, you can basically like Phantom Peak, and as we know, Call of Duty is running on 32 tick servers. If my expectations are not wrong, if they haven't upgraded to like at least a 64 tick server, you're probably gonna get like one tap, or you're probably gonna get like killed before you even see the enemy because of how low the tick rate is. So I'm interested to see how that works in COD.
Besides that, the goal is to improve the flow of the game more so than the speed of the game. But I do need to warn you, if you are not a fan of the movement tech currently in the game,
but it does it won't really increase like the speed of the game by increase the speed of like gunfight, because you can instantly now slide right in any direction. You can like whoop over to that side. So there it is. You can basically pick extremely wide, and especially when SMG, you can like sprint, slide, ADS, boom, spray someone in close range, and they won't even know what hit them. So I don't know how they're gonna balance that. I don't know, man.
Things to slow
SMG
down
and shotguns might be too OP in this game.
2, Warzone 2. Let me tell you, the direction they are going here is not a U-turn back. This is not in your favor. Not completely.
Yeah.
The more freedom that they give us,
it's next gen movement, right?
There's going to be more movement to manage and control. Mastering a backwards or really any direction
backward slide
will mean the target that you're shooting at is also going to be more difficult to track and stay on, which I'm fearful of even saying it, but it might be time to finally switch to that controller versus only being able to slide.
Yeah, especially with aim assist.
Whatever forwards. But the animations and the way this all looks is so clean, of course, from what we've seen. And they did show us some cool examples. And while COD is already very smooth to play, this is going to take it to a whole nother level, especially in combination with Point 2. They're also adding supine prone. We've all seen the characters in Call of Duty prone, maybe even defusing a bomb, spinning in a circle, completely flat on their belly, maybe even slowly turning, legs getting stuck on the wall, prone blocked. And how silly it looks. Sometimes your legs are up on the couch or even clipping through a wall. Now you can prone on your side and back. When you're prone on your belly, if you do that 180, you're...
I don't know how that's gonna be, because depending on how they implement it, you can position yourself. Like, can you imagine like in a doorway, you can position yourself to where like they basically don't see you at all, but you can see them because your head is just out a bit. Okay, that might actually be really, really OP in certain scenarios, but I don't know. Let's see what
Character
I have to say.
doesn't swing his legs the whole way around. Instead, just rolls over onto his back, and you can aim behind you
Yeah,
instantly. We've seen this.
but the good thing about the previous one where you swing your legs around is that if someone were to like aim or track you when they're hiding in a corner, at least you can see like, hey, shit, the legs are moving. Probably there's someone there, right? But can you imagine if you do that with a supine prone, like you just turn your body a bit? They're probably not gonna see that. So I hope there's not gonna be a lot of campers.
From a couple of games, Rainbow Six probably most notably, and it is a far more impressive system for
Yep.
the way the game even looks and feels. While COD is typically a
But Rainbow Six is a really slow game, so that's a different case. It's a like really slow game where your movement is really slow and shit like that, and where you can get one tap, but with like most weapons, you freaking pistol to the head. So COD is
much
different.
faster paced, run
Yep.
and gun style game. Going prone in a corner probably isn't your favorite thing to run into, or maybe it's your favorite thing to do. I don't know. It doesn't just
Yeah,
stop with being prone on the
might
floor.
make it really
You can
cam
also,
heavy.
while diving in air, do a 180 flipping over to your back. We might see some of the most ridiculous dolphin dive and clips happen.
Yeah.
More on some potential clips in a second. Number 3, let's keep covering the range of the game. For progression, the classic prestige system is back. That being, once you go through the classic level 1 through 55 progression to unlock all your attachments, weapons, perks, you can choose to reset your character to regrind all of those levels and unlocks while earning a badge as a reward. Now, this system left a long time ago with different iterations that have occurred. In recent years, having a system where you hit a level cap and then have to wait
Yep.
for a new season to come out.
The season
increase the level
prestige.
cap. You then progress to that cap and wait for another new season, and then you progress to that, etc. This was a solution because, understandably, a lot of people didn't like to lose all of their progress and unlocks. And that is what's returning here.
True.
But the devs did make an emphasis that the progression and the challenges will not reset. If you're going for gold camo or whatever, you can still work towards unlocking that on your path. They also mentioned
Okay,
they didn't
that's
want
nice.
the punishments of prestiging to be as harsh as the original, like 100% wipe. You're starting your
Yeah.
entire game over.
And where
But
people
instead
don't
closer
want
to some
to
of
use
the later
prestige.
Black Ops, where we even saw systems like you could bring a gun back with you or a perk. Although they didn't give us the specifics this time around. Of
Hopefully,
what
if they do
it's
something like that, more people
I'll
will
be
actually use
watching for,
prestige.
and no clue how they're going to implement this for Warzone. There will be 10 prestiges, and once you hit the max prestige at 10, level 55, another 1,000 levels are going to unlock for a master prestige track that is all instantly available day one. You don't have to wait for new seasons. It's not going to cap you until
Okay.
you make it all the way till the end. Now, I do
That's kinda
expect
nice.
there to be a level reset like we saw when Warzone 2 came out, and the levels to still track across Warzone and even Warzone Mobile. They didn't say that, but that's been such big marketing and everything in the past for them. I would imagine they would keep that system for longer than a couple of months. We also still don't know all the specifics for actually unlocking the weapons. That has been a major point of contention for this game, especially when Warzone 2 came out. It has been simplified a lot since then, but we're going to have to wait and see here. Number 4, continuing on with multiplayer, we're going to have 16 maps at launch.
Okay,
4
that's
of those
nice.
Are going to be
That's
strike
nice.
maps, very close quarters.
So you have 12
1v1s,
multiplayer maps.
2v2s,
That's nice.
etc. This will be a welcome change for
Hopefully they
many
move
of the
down back.
players, especially who were disappointed with Modern
And
Warfare
shipment.
3 last year.
Yeah.
essentially bringing back all the old Modern Warfare 2.
They don't have any new
that
maps.
we've already seen before. These are all new. A lot of
Okay,
diverse
that's nice.
locations, all being aftermath from the campaign
12
locations
new
that
maps,
we'll
at
see.
least
But there was
multiplayer
also
maps.
no
So
mention
that's nice.
of Ground War or any of the big maps. This was my big focus and really satisfied a lot of my Battlefield big scale cravings for a long time. I really haven't
Yep.
played too much of the multiplayer the last couple of years. 5, a little on zombies here. They finally have confirmed round-based zombies returning. Infinite waves of ever-increasing difficulty that they told us are packed with secrets and cinematics. The last Zombies experience, of course, being more extraction-based. Essentially, it was what DMZ was turned into
Yeah.
zombies. Honestly, this was pretty well received by the greater community. I had a lot of fun with it
Yep.
until Warzone came out. And I actually appreciated they had kind of a staggered release for it, so I could enjoy it. But there is a reason Round-Based Zombies has had such a diehard audience, in that this has its entire own world, lore, and intense style of gameplay. Continuing with that, then 6 zombies will have 2 maps at launch.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it looks like a nice town set in 1991, which is
West
exciting
Virginia. Hey, that song.
for the game. And of course, that place is getting turned upside down.
No
second
shit.
being across the country in a black site prison where you need to fight and escape.
So it's kind of like Alcatraz, I guess.
It almost sounded like an Alcatraz type vibe.
Yep.
Of course, Rebirth Island. And all the zombies guys that were there that I spoke to were very excited for this. Both maps and the time frame are happening at the same time. A bonus point here, there is a zombie cast with the best voice lines that you can play ideally as when you do the map. However, you can play with any operator that you want. 7, I know you all want to know about Warzone. Me too. And I'll just confirm that they did not tell us anything. Unfortunately, they seem to hint that that information is going to be coming later, closer to the beta launch. Which I kind of found surprising, but maybe we'll get something sooner.
I mean, usually Warzone always comes later after the, the main game, because they want to sell the main game first and then Warzone later, right?
That Verdansk is going to be coming back, but
hopefully,
any traces
hopefully.
Of that. The closest thing was back in Modern Warfare 3 during the campaign. Many have speculated that maybe Blackout's going to be returning, and
that could be nice.
But they also didn't even confirm Nuketown, and that is a complete staple of the Black Ops series. But that one,
hopefully, that will be releasing on season 1.
I don't know if it's coming at launch or a later time. 8. This is a big one. Cosmetics is often a major issue, especially over the last couple years, and they did confirm that from previous Call of Duties, there will not be carry forward to Black Ops 6 to keep the integrity of Black Ops and that feel at launch, but they will carry.
Okay, that's my question. So, would they have like Modern Warfare cosmetics and then Black Ops cosmetics, where it's like separate? So, like, you can only progress in Modern Warfare, like you can only bring forward your cosmetics in Modern Warfare through the Modern Warfare games, and then Black Ops through the Black Ops games. That I don't know. Is it that? And thanks for following Body Simule.
Forward for Warzone. And maybe that's a good thing, so there aren't a bunch of ducks with lightsabers running around day one. Also, I imagine if you're a multiplayer main, you're probably going to be disappointed by this. Especially if you want to show off your staple skin in its glory, because for number 9, theater mode is returning.
Oh, damn. Okay.
The more popular that this is.
Damn. Okay, can you actually download? Because you can download shit. Like I don't know, maybe like edit it and then like download it. You can probably make some like really, really good compilations. Hopefully.
The more potential that it'll be included as a standard in the franchise for the other series.
Theater mode has been gone for too long.
It was out for Warzone, but we'll see on that. This is the ability, though, of course, to go back and rewatch the game that you've played, even save it for later.
Good for VOD reviews.
Full camera control to see everybody's perspective, do free cameras, so you can see how this player is so good and maybe take some notes or call him a hacker. And, of course, get some of the epic moments that you get. Even send it into my channel here. 10. Multiplayer is returning to the old Black Ops style systems. Score streaks are back in the main reward for staying alive. That means, of course, that you're going to have to actually play the objective, not just get kills.
Would there be a toggle?
I thought this was a fantastic addition to the series, although more recently they've even given you some options to take kill streaks, score streaks, etc. And as for the perk system, it's going back to the classic 3 perks. This is just clean, simple at face
1, 2, 3.
Figure out what it is. No more vests limiting which clothing you can wear, and therefore
I don't know how to pronounce that, but yeah.
Value, though,
let me know how you want me to pronounce that. I'm going to pronounce you as Moldy.
11 perks will have a combat specialty bonus.
Oh, damn.
Within those 3 slots and perks that you'll take, they are color-based, and if you take the same color in each slot, you'll essentially be given a 4th perk. There's going to be individual operators that have special abilities like we saw in Black Ops 3, or even the Pick 10 system, which did get a lot of popularity because of the maximum freedom that you can have. But there is still one more wild card perk that is going to be in the game. Usually these are extra attachments for your guns, overkill for weapons, etc. They're kind of just letting you have all
like
the
Black
options, but still letting you find a unique way to play. And with that, one of my favorite changes, cosmetically at least, is there is now a dedicated melee weapon slot. Point 12. In addition to your primary assault rifle or SMG and a secondary pistol or a launcher, there's now a third slot. You can always have a melee weapon with you. So if you want to pull that out at the start of the match to run faster, or even just use it to go on an assassin killing spree when you feel like it, you always have that option. 13, grabbing a human shield is not just a trailer cinematic.
What
Getting
the
behind
shit?
somebody means you don't have to execute them, at least right away. You can grab them, use them as a shield, and shoot over them as a better riot shield, but quite a bit heavier. 14.
So you can do like a half ADS thing that they have in like Modern Warfare 3. But how much health does the human shield have, and does certain weapons like penetrate through them and do damage or whatnot? I don't know how it's gonna work, but if doesn't, if they don't implement it well, it could be like freaking broken as shit. I hope not. I hope they implement it well, but it's Call of Duty, so you know.
Let's talk about the UI side for a bit. The main Call of Duty headquarters launcher is getting a big refresh. Is how they put it.
Oh,
Even the
that's nice.
friends list is being adjusted to avoid the social menu that they have, and we've already
Oh,
heard
thank
this
God.
from them for a number of updates since
Thank
Warzone 2
freaking
when
God.
all of this really changed over, but not that much has significantly changed. They put it up on the big screen and said, "We hear the feedback." You know, it's not the cleanest system that they have for the menus. The main thing they said is I want it to just be cleaner and easier to get into a game quicker, which of course is a great goal, but we'll have to see how they do that. 15, as for the in-game UI, the HUD is now going to be movable. No longer is the TAC map isolated to that top left corner that we're used to seeing always in Call of Duty. You can
That's
change
nice.
the corner of the map, the ammo, the utility, your equipment, and you can change it all.
Are they gonna implement it though?
Don't expect mobile level of customization.
Okay.
If you played any of that, you can move everything
Well,
out
that
wherever
sucks.
you want. It seemed to be the way they presented it. It's going to be preset positions, and they're going to have
It could be pretty cool for streamers though, like, to move certain things around and stuff like mobile customization, but well, it's Call of Duty, so
number of options for it. And they even seemed open to feedback. So if you really are so inclined, you probably could put together a model and get them to implement it. But if you come from other games like Battlefield, where the map's in a different corner and that's where you're used to looking, you're going to have the option.
Okay,
to
so
do
easy
that.
transition,
16.
kind of.
As for making the game more accessible overall, they now have a new intelligent movement system. That means that you're going to have auto mantling, auto sprinting.
Okay.
The example they gave us was a player clicking the left stick to sprint, jumping down a ravine, clicking to sprint again, jumping over an edge to vault over it, finding a hole in the wall, crouching to go under it.
I think probably for multiplayer, for professional players, they are just gonna use a controller with back buttons to do that. For competitive modes, they're probably gonna turn off smart movement, right? But I guess for multiplayer, probably some people are gonna use it. But I think for like campaign and what call that, zombies, I think a lot of people are gonna use it. So that's gonna be that, right? But depending on how fast it reacts, it might be a bit too overpowered in multiplayer and whatnot. And also if they have like a competitive mode out, the ranked mode, I don't know how that will turn out also.
Clicking to sprint again. Now it's just going to be you hold forwards if you are so inclined to turn this on, which I think is going to make the game much easier to just play. If you want to go the maximum speed in that direction, you just hold down forwards and it'll automatically get you over everything, vault over it, even the hole in the wall, crouch through it. And when you think about Call of Duty being as accessible of games, they try to make it for millions of people with some heavy aim assist on it. It makes a lot of sense.
Accessibility, yes, but for the competitive modes, how would it actually be? That is a good goddamn question. Would they have smart movement in competitive? Because if they have, it might be a bit broken. Man. And how fast are they gonna have it? Hey, good questions to have. If you guys know the answer, let me know.
I do think for the maximum performance, you're probably going to want to have that off so you can
Yep,
really get fine-tuned with the decisions you're making to not accidentally auto-mantle a ledge if you're trying to go
true.
for a jump shot or whatever. Although they do even have custom settings in there for dead zones and timing of how long you hold it to trigger it. You
Might
can
be
really
a bit
customize a
OP.
lot. This could be good to save a lot of button presses. 17. As for the story,
Okay, that is basically good for people who don't have controller with back buttons, right? Those of you normies who are using just regular gaming controllers, but as how proliferated, like, and how cheap, controllers with back buttons have gotten. I don't know, man. I don't know. But if you're, on console and you're just using the standard controller that came in the box that you got with a console, hey, this might help. This would help. This would help. But it might be a bit too OP depending on how it goes.
the campaign is a linear one, similar to all of the other Call of
Okay,
Duty
that's
stories
nice.
that we've ever experienced. They
Linear.
did say there are going to be some open missions with options and how to approach it. I won't go into any details on it for you here so you can experience it yourself. But they really just want to tell the absolute best story that they can, and Black Ops is usually a lot more mysterious with some of the approaches on it.
Yep.
Outside of playing the main story, you have a safe house in between the missions where you're going to be able to buy upgrades and benefits to you as you go on your missions. Point 18, the story is set in 1991, around the timing of the Gulf War, not
Gulf War?
2001, which was a question that's brought up.
Yep,
There's been a lot
because-
of speculation online. Does this have anything to do with the World Trade Centers?
Yeah.
They confirm that is
World
not
Trade
the-
Center. Whoo! Thank God. Thank God they missed the bullet on that one. If not, gonna be a tough one, man.
case. It is staying in 1991. 19. We did get to see some of the new equipment as well.
Oh.
The most interesting being a homing throwing knife that you can throw and then have a camera following and steer where it goes that also seem to explode.
So it's like a flying RCXD kind of. Oh man.
Very interesting. Of course,
Might
the
be
RCXD
OP.
is making a return, classic in Black Ops. And finally, number 20, when it comes to the multiplayer, they're
So
having
like a hunter-killer
dynamic death cams now in the game. Instead of there being 4
Oh.
specific hitboxes to where, if
Spin
you
left,
hit up
spin
here,
right.
death
Yeah.
animation. Here, death animation. Head, death animation. Legs, death animation. Now there's 9 different areas if you get hit in the arm, upper chest, left, right, lower abdomen. They have a lot more individual boxes that will change the way that your character reacts, as well as
So it looks more
the
real
type
life.
of weapon that you're getting shot from. And they showed us some
Okay.
crazy ones, getting hit by a shotgun, and it was like you got hit by a car flying backwards. The motion capture they did on this was insane, but not just
Yep.
the animations, but the way that you watch the animations occur. So now,
Yeah, especially theater mode, it will look really, really cool, man.
rather than the camera just staying isolated and glued to the ground of wherever you died, it's going to follow your ragdoll, which could be very cool for some of the execution animations that they have in the game as well. The main greater kind of point that they were talking about, it seemed, besides just the flow of the game and how you move and play, they really want to push the graphic fidelity and the quality of all, even the little
So my computer might not run it. Got it. Oh shit.
to details here. And I gotta say, a lot of it looks really insane. The animations are great, whether it's the movement for them or how they're reacting to the environment and what's happening to them, to the details of the weapons, the body, the clothing, while still giving us more control and feeling of the character and freedom to move how we want to. Even the nuance of when you go up towards the edge of a wall and you're peeking around it, the character will actually lean over. And this isn't something that's necessarily visible to the other players that's going to affect the way that it's not like a proper lean that you get a control, or like the lean we've seen in the past where you kind of go up to the wall and even mount onto it. There still is mounting in the game. This is just something that visually will make more sense if you're pushing a corner. And if you're going at a slower speed, if you're sprinting around the corner, you're still going to sprint around the corner. They made some clarifying points, too, about just the engine as a whole in their system. They have their own engine. They don't even really have a specific name for it. They just call it the Call of Duty proprietary engine. But that's what they continually are building off of, which at least made me more optimistic with the way they were describing it, that they're just going to continue to build off of what they have, and that is what they're doing more so than completely changing their system over every year or two. I'm just kind of scarred from what they changed from Warzone 2, taking out so many features, which is a reason that you hear me bring it up a lot. But talking even with other creators that were at the event, this seemed to be the biggest like early game showcase in terms of the number of people that they even brought out for it since they've done Black Ops 4. Which
are we gonna see some Nadia memes?
More excited and confident with this game in the first place. I gotta say the trailer looked insane, but they always crush it with the marketing. All of these games do,
True.
man. They kill it on that department. And while Black Ops and Treyarch are historically my favorite studio and version of the game, I've been much more excited for Warzone than multiplayer, and this is the first time that the multiplayer and story is a little bit more appealing to me. I'm just really curious.
For me, I'm a
how
multiplayer
they
guy.
transfer all of these things over to Warzone, and I would love to see
The multiplayer is slick.
make it.
It is
their
good.
freedom of movement. We don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Keep it civil. We have usually a really great discussion there. What are you excited for? Dislike? And if you want to see more of my daily Call of Duty coverage, check out my Stone Mountain Plays.
Alright, yeah, so same thing also. Let me know what you think about it. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be bad? Dumpster fire, all that. Like, subscribe, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Goodbye for now.